Reading again, so y'all can go ahead and join me for a little study session. We got a question here. Una pregunta aquí. All right, so basically what we're trying to look up is what's the whole psychology behind this law of attraction, or basically what we're delving into is when people say always assume attraction going into conversations or interactions, what does that actually mean? And what are the pros and cons of having that kind of mentality or attitude approaching a situation from both senders and recipients? So basically, the question I asked is what is the psychology behind the phrase always assume attraction? What are the potential upsides and downsides to this way of approaching social settings and interactions? The always assume attraction mindset is a psychological reframe often used to combat social anxiety and improve charisma. Instead of looking for signs of rejection, you operate under the internal logic that everyone you meet already likes you and finds you interesting. Here's a psychological breakdown of why this works, along with the trade offs. The psychology, self fulfilling prophecies. At its core, this mindset leverages several well documented psychological phenomena. The self fulfilling prophecy: when you believe people like you naturally adopt warm, vocal, nonverbal cues such as smiling, open posture, and eye contact. Because you are being warm, people respond in kind, confirming your initial beliefs. The spotlight effect. Most social anxiety stems from the spotlight effect, the belief that others are hyper focused on your flaws. Assuming attraction shifts the focus from will they accept me to we're already hitting it off, which lowers cortisol and improves cognitive performance. Reciprocal liking. Humans have a strong tendency to like people who they perceive like them. By assuming attraction, you act with a level of comfort that signals you like the other person, triggering a cycle of mutual rapport. The upsides: social lubrication. Approaching a room with this filter can dramatically change your social ROI, or return on investment. This eliminates approach anxiety. If you assume the yes is already there, the fear of the no vanishes. This makes initiating conversation feel low stakes. Authentic expression. When you aren't seeking approval, you stop filtering your personality. You become more polarizing, which ironically makes you more attractive to the people who align with your true self. Resilience to rejection. If someone is rude or disinterested, you're more likely to attribute it to their bad day rather than your own inadequacy. It preserves your social momentum. The downsides: the blind spot risk. While powerful, this mindset can backfire if it isn't tempered with social intelligence. Ignoring social cues. The biggest risk is becoming socially deaf. If you ignore clear signs of discomfort or disinterest because you've decided they must like you risk being perceived as overbearing, arrogant, or creepy. The confirmation bias trap. You might misinterpret professional politeness or platonic friendliness as romantic interest, leading to awkward misunderstandings or overstepping boundaries. Lack of calibration. True charisma requires calibration, the ability to adjust your energy to the room. If you assume everyone is all in on you, you might miss the subtle need to dial it back and build comfort first. We have a comparison table here: assuming attraction versus seeking approval. When assuming attraction, the internal state is abundance and confidence. When seeking approval, the internal state is scarcity or anxiety. When assuming attraction, the focus is external, focused on the fun or on the topic. And then when seeking approval, the focus is typically internal, on performance. When assuming attraction, the body language is typically open, relaxed, and expansive. And when seeking approval, body language is typically guarded, fidgety, and shrinking. Uh, when assuming attraction, the outcome of no is typically interpreted by someone who assumes attraction as they're busy or maybe not a fit. When seeking approval, the outcome of receiving a no as a response could be likely interpreted as I'm not good enough. All right, that was quick and painless. Well, went quicker than I thought it would. But all right, that's the psychology behind the always assuming attraction. It's a good rule of thumb, but it's also good to be aware of the trade offs.